Why do people create myths and legends? Myths and legends have been a cornerstone of human culture for as long as we have existed. From the ancient stories of gods and heroes to modern urban legends, humans have always found ways to explain the world around them through narrative. But why? What compels us to create myths and legends, to weave tales of extraordinary beings and events and pass them down through the generations? To answer this question, we must dive deep into the very fabric of human nature, exploring our need for meaning, connection, and understanding in a world that can often seem chaotic and incomprehensible. Myths and legends are more than just stories. They are reflections of our hopes, fears, and aspirations. They serve to explain the unexplainable, offer moral guidance, and most intriguingly, connect us to something larger than ourselves. The need for explanation, making sense of the world. At the heart of myth-making lies a basic human impulse, the need to understand the world. In ancient times, when scientific knowledge was limited, myths served as explanations for natural phenomena. Why does the sun rise and set? Why do seasons change? What causes thunderstorms? Early humans, facing a world full of mysteries, crafted stories to give these events meaning. Instead of random occurrences, these phenomena became acts of gods or spirits, each with a specific role to play in the grand design of the cosmos. For example, the Greeks believed that lightning was the weapon of Zeus, the king of the gods. In Norse mythology, thunder was the sound of Thor riding across the sky in his chariot, wielding his mighty hammer. These stories not only provided explanations for natural events, but also imbued them with a sense of wonder and reverence. The world became a stage upon which gods and cosmic forces acted, making the universe feel more ordered and meaningful. But myths did not stop at explaining natural events. They also addressed the deeper questions of existence. Why are we here? What happens after we die? Myths provided answers to these existential riddles. In Egyptian mythology, the story of Osiris and his resurrection offered hope for life after death, while the Mayan creation myths explained humanity's purpose as a bridge between the gods and the earth. While modern science has answered many of the questions that myths once addressed, the instinct to explain persists. Even today, in the absence of certainty, people create stories. Urban legends and conspiracy theories are modern forms of myth-making, born from the same need to make sense of a complex and often bewildering world. Myths as moral and social lessons. Beyond their explanatory power, myths and legends often serve a moral or didactic function. These stories teach lessons, reinforcing societal values and offering guidance on how to live a virtuous life. Myths are frequently populated by heroes and villains, gods and mortals who embody the eternal struggle between good and evil, right and wrong. These archetypal characters provide examples both positive and negative of how humans should behave. Consider the myth of Icarus, who flew too close to the sun with wings made of wax, only to plummet to his death when the heat melted his wings. This Greek legend is a cautionary tale about hubris and overambition, warning against the dangers of ignoring wise counsel and overstepping human limits. Similarly, the Native American legend of the trickster, often portrayed as a cunning but foolish figure, teaches lessons about the consequences of deceit and selfishness. These stories resonate deeply because they reflect universal human experiences. The struggles of mythical heroes mirror our own, and their journeys offer insights into our challenges. In this way, myths and legends function as mirrors of the human condition, revealing timeless truths about morality, ambition, love, and loss. They offer guidance in a world that is often morally ambiguous, providing clear examples of virtue and vice. Even in modern times, We see echoes of myth in our cultural narratives. Superhero stories, for instance, can be viewed as contemporary myths, with characters like Superman or Batman embodying ideals of justice, sacrifice, and the eternal fight against evil. These stories speak to the same moral yearnings that ancient myths addressed, reminding us that our need for ethical guidance has not diminished with time. Connecting humanity to the divine and the unknown. One of the most profound functions of myths and legends is their ability to connect us to the divine and the unknown. In many cultures, myths serve as a bridge between the human and the divine, explaining how the gods interact with mortals and influence the world. These stories provide a framework for understanding the sacred, offering a glimpse into realms beyond our comprehension. In ancient Greece, for example, the gods were not distant and unknowable, but intimately involved in human affairs. Zeus, Athena, Apollo, these deities walked among mortals, influencing wars, love affairs, and even personal decisions. This interaction between the divine and human worlds gave people a sense of connection to something greater than themselves. Their lives were not isolated or insignificant, but part of a cosmic drama orchestrated by powerful forces. Similarly, in many indigenous cultures, myths often involve spirits of nature or ancestors who continue to influence the living. These stories blur the line between the material and spiritual worlds, reminding us that the universe is more complex and interconnected than it might seem. Myths offer a way to transcend the mundane, to touch the eternal and the infinite in modern times. Although many people may no longer believe in gods walking among us, the yearning for connection to something greater remains. Myths about the universe's origins or humanity's future continue to fascinate us, whether through religious narratives, philosophical ideas, or even science fiction. These stories allow us to explore possibilities beyond the limits of our everyday experience, keeping alive the mystery and wonder of existence. The power of imagination and creativity. At its core, the creation of myths and legends is an act of imagination. Human beings are storytelling creatures, and myths represent the pinnacle of our creative expression. Through these stories, we explore not only the world as it is, but also the world as it could be. Myths offer an opportunity to envision different realities, to speculate about the unknown, and to push the boundaries of what is possible. This creative impulse is especially evident in the fantastical elements of myths and legends. Dragons, gods, monsters, these figures populate our stories, transcending the limitations of reality and allowing us to explore ideas and emotions that might otherwise be difficult to express. The very act of creating these beings reflects a profound human need to imagine beyond the tangible, to dream of worlds where anything is possible. Consider the enduring appeal of mythological creatures like the phoenix, a bird that rises from its own ashes, symbolizing rebirth and renewal. Such a creature doesn't exist in reality, yet it resonates deeply with our experience of life, death, and the hope for transformation. In this way, myths allow us to grapple with abstract concepts through concrete, imaginative forms. Even today, myths and legends continue to inspire art, literature, and film. From J.R.R. Tolkien's Middle-earth to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we are drawn to stories that expand our horizons and allow us to explore new worlds. The creativity that fuels myth-making is alive and well, proving that our need for imaginative storytelling is as strong as ever. The eternal human search for meaning. Ultimately, myths and legends are a reflection of humanity's eternal search for meaning. They arise from our desire to understand not only the world around us, but also our own place within it. Through these stories, we confront the fundamental questions of existence. Who are we? Why are we here? What is our purpose? Myths provide answers, or at least frameworks, for grappling with these questions. They offer explanations, morals, and connections to the divine, allowing us to make sense of life's mysteries. But perhaps more importantly, they remind us that the search for meaning is itself a journey. The stories we create are not static, they evolve as we do, adapting to new knowledge and experiences. This is why myths endure. Even as cultures change and scientific understanding grows, we continue to tell stories, to weave narratives that reflect our deepest hopes and fears. Myths are not relics of the past world, to the divine and to each other. They are the vessels through which we express our deepest longings, fears, and aspirations. But why do people create myths and legends? Perhaps the answer lies in the very act of storytelling itself. In crafting myths, we do more than explain the world. We create meaning, shape our identities, and connect with something greater than ourselves. Myths are not just stories about the world, they are stories about us. And in the end, perhaps the greatest myth of all is the one we continue to live, the ongoing story of humanity seeking to understand, to create, and to find meaning in a world that is both wondrous and mysterious.